my next guest, who is the quintessential great in everything that he does, and that includes Barry. Season 3 of this Emmy Award-winning show returns to HBO and HBO Max on Sunday at 10 Eastern Time. Stephen Root here on the program. Great to see you, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Body. Body is back for Season 3.
I just love this program. It is so funny. It's also very dramatic. There's a lot that goes on. Your character, Fuchs, essentially has 18,000 lives, it appears, and it's good.
He keeps popping up. Yeah,
it's good to see him alive and seemingly well. When this script first lands in your hands, in your lap, on your desk, however, what did you think when you first heard about this?
This is the worst log line in the history of television.
Right.
Who's going to buy this show?
Right.
A hitman who wants to be an actor. I'm amazed that it made it out of the HBO pile.
Right.
But the script was so good. That's the thing. I mean, the writing on this show is spectacular. And everything in my career now, in my later stages, is the script not good but great? Mm-hmm. And this was great. So I knew it would be fun to play with Bill. I was a big fan from his Saturday Night Live stuff.
Right. And the producer.
And Henry Winkler, come on.
Henry Winkler as well as the acting coach. And now.
Oh, my goodness. The best.
He is one of the nicest guys, right?
The mensch of the world.
The mensch of the world.
Yeah.
I know. Certainly when you meet him and your first thought is, okay, this is the Fonz. And then pretty much every word out of his mouth doesn't sound like the Fonz.
No,
right?
He's just the sweetest guy in the world and a hard worker. I mean, he's been working on so many things throughout his life. But I think, like me, he feels like this is a special deal.
Well, I mean, in your work, in your filmography, I mean, you have been, and the beauty about Barry is not just because it's funny, because when you hear Bill Hader, too, in Saturday Night Live, and the producer Alec Berg, who's from the Seinfeld
Fantastic,
and Curb Your Enthusiasm world, and so many more other shows.
Great stuff.
You're thinking, okay, this
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley
shape.
As well.
Yeah.
And so you're thinking, okay, this is going to be laugh out loud hilarious, and then like on occasion, Breaking Bad breaks out on a show like this one.
Yeah.
And so, and I see the rest of your career. I mean, what is some of the crazier scenes you've ever been in any, like, where it just is off the rails, off the wall? You've been in a couple of those scenes with Barry so far.
Yeah.
Anything else from your filmography leap out?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
To you, where you're like, wow, that is just
where I'm threatened by animals? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think.
Or like Demon Children, that one with
I did one. I do remember one really bad kind of softcore porn horror movie that I did where I played the villain, and the villain in the piece was a scarecrow. And I do die by his hands, by him taking his straw hand and going into my face, and we have straws sticking into my head.
And that's how.
So that might be the worst.
That's it.
Thing ever.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you've been in No Country for Old Men. Get Out.
I did get shot in the face with a shotgun by Javier Bardem. Yes, that's true.
So you got that going for you,
I got that.
which is nice. I mean, you know, so we have a construct here on the program when we have celebrity guests on with filmographies and TV shows that we're just such big fans of, and you've been in so many of them, Stephen Root. It's called Celebrity True or False, where we take some lines from, I guess, stories have written about you, and also your filmography to see what's true and what's not.
Okay.
And we have some terrific production value to it. Go ahead and do it.
Celebrity True or False.
You can't handle the truth.
There you go. That's it. That's our production.
Very
value.
nice. That must have taken an hour and a half.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
It did. It was a brain drain here. Okay. First one for you, Stephen Root. True or false? You dropped out of the University of Florida, travel around the country in a van doing Shakespeare. Is that true or false?
That's true, and it was true for 2.5 years. It was the National Shakespeare Company, a bus and truck based in New York, but we mostly played colleges, small theaters around the country for 9 months out of the year. We put up 3 shows. I think the first year we did Romeo and Juliet, Winter's Tale, and Comedy of Errors. And whatever they hired us for, we would do that show. But since there were only 12 people in the company, we were double and triple cast. So it was the best possible training you could get.
Like Shakespeare barnstorming? That's where you're barnstorming Shakespeare?
Yeah. We would play a 5,000-seat house at West Point, and the next day we'd play, a junior college dorm room, basically. I mean, or a cafeteria or something. So it was the same show, but it was always different because you're in different venues.
I don't know if you saw the slide that we had up on the screen.
Oh.
Can you put that back one more time, Hoskins, for that particular celebrity, true or false? I don't know if there's Yorick and the Swamp all at the same time. I
love
believe,
that
right
shot.
There.
That's a fantastic shot.
If you want that, we can text you that photograph.
Please, my brother would like that as well. He's a big Gator fan.
Did Steve Spurrier have a poor receiver named
that
Yorick
wasn't
or something?
Steve Spurrier?
No, it was definitely, there wasn't a visor on it on the skull. Otherwise,
I love you, Stevie.
It could have been it right there. All right, next up, Stephen Root, true or false? You were cut out of Kindergarten Cop. Is that true or false?
Yes, 5 scenes out of Kindergarten Cop. My whole subplot was cut out of
what the hell?
Kindergarten Cop. Well, I don't know what the hell happened there. Maybe I don't know. I got a wonderful. I was sitting next to the lead in that, who was
Arnie.
And he turned to me and he said, "You are so funny." So I think maybe that's why I got cut out of it.
Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was. Well, that's my Arnie story.
No, but that's a great Arnie story. There's no question. But hey, but at least in 1990 you made it into Ghost. You were
I
in
made
Ghost.
it into Ghost. That was a great movie. I was happy to be in that, and I thought, wow, maybe I'll have a movie career. Nothing after that.
Well, I mean, there you are, like looking at Demi Moore like she's crazy.
Demi Moore and I talked about it. I just had a baby, and she had just had like 2.
Yeah.
So that's mainly what we talked about. But she was great. We had a wonderful time in that movie.
Yeah. So next one up for you, Stephen Root. True or false? From time to time, fans of the movie Office Space will either mail you or give you in person a red swing line stapler. Is that true or false?
It's so true. It's frightening. It's been true ever since that movie. Probably the first couple of years that it came out, because it came out 99, 2000, right when DVDs were being, everybody, it was huge. You could go, and it became a word of mouth movie. The Office Space did.
Right.
So now at this point in my career, there isn't a set that I don't go on to that doesn't have a box of staplers ready for me to sign, and not for the crew. It's all crew who wants them, and they will send me staplers to sign. I'll sign some of those, but I have to say it doesn't matter what I've done in my career. Whenever somebody stops me in the street, it's Office Space.
Is that right?
Absolutely. And
is it true that the stapler was discontinued? Mike Judge insisted it was red, and they created the staplers specifically.
That's
for the movie?
Yeah, but they did. We had 4 of them. We burned 2 up in the movie. Mike took one, and I stole one. So I have mine.
You have your own stapler.
I have one on top of a butter dish on top of my TV. Yes. So I have one real one, but the ones they made at Swingline after that were the wrong model. I don't know, maybe that bothered him, I don't know. But it's not quite the same stapler.
And then another question from this about your character, Milton. You had to wear contacts because the Coke bottle glasses you were wearing, you wore the contacts
no depth perception whatsoever.
Because those are real Coke bottle glasses,
right?
Oh, yeah. And then you had to wear contacts to offset?
I had contacts to offset them, but I still had no depth perception. So whenever I had to practice, whenever I was in a scene with it, to be able to not look at it and do it, I had to practice, because I couldn't tell whether it was 5 feet away or right next to me. So I would have to do this kind of thing in practice before I could reach for the stapler and do it, because I couldn't see it.
It's like Donald Pleasance in The Great Escape.
Very much so.
How's that for a reference for you right there?
Great. And I'm a big Donald Pleasance fan.
I just made a Milton Great Escape reference.
Well done.
So who are you doing in that movie? Like, is that somebody that you had you never met? Or
Mike, we were working on King of the Hill at the time.
Yes.
So a bunch of us from King of the Hill read that script for him at the Fox, executive read-through.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike was going to read Milton.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done a couple of parts. I was reading one of the Dons. I was the psychiatrist that dies. So I was going to read all those, and as we were walking over, Mike says, "I just want to watch it. You read Milton." I said, "Oh, thanks for the prep there, Mikey." And he took me into his office and he showed me a 2-minute pencil sketch, black and white, of Milton, which he had voiced. And he said, "What do you want to do? Something like that?" "I'll do something like that, but I'll just do what I think." And my gut there was that he would have a lisp,
mm-hmm.
a little bit of a lisp, and a higher voice. And so I just did that at the table read and went on from there.
Can you still do it at the drop of a hat? When was the last time?
Everybody who can do it better than me now.
That's not true.
I was told I could. My stapler. There's not enough cake. I can do it okay, but the people who have done it for 20 years, they can do it a lot better than I can.
I got to tell you, Gary Cole in that movie,
the best.
Getting the cadence down of like, did you get the memo?
Yeah, but that's Mike. Mike knew that person. And he schooled Gary on, said, "This is how this person talked." And then Gary took it from there and made it a little more drawn out. But there was a direction from Mike.
I bet.
Yeah.
But it was perfect.
Perfect.
We've all kind of
God,
had
all
a
those
manager
guys.
Like that.
All
in our
those
job,
guys. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Did you have any sense that movie, when you were making it, was going to be as...
No, we were all friends, from King of the Hill. So, and most of us knew each other. I knew Jennifer from... my wife had known her, so I knew her a little bit. But we were all kind of just buddies in the business. So we were thinking, let's make a nice little B comedy movie. And we were happy with it. We thought it was good, and it just bombed sensationally. And then the DVD market took it.
And it's a whole new life.
Yeah.
Couple more for you, Stephen Root, Celebrity True or False. This is great. I mean, honestly, we had to weed out like 15 of them. True or false? Many of the extras in Dodgeball were actually recently released prison inmates. True or false?
Kind of true. Some of them. A lot of the audience members you'd see at the matches, those were prison inmates. Whether or not the extras were, I'm not sure. They might have used some of them, but a whole bunch of the audience was prison inmates who would stare at you for a long time and not laugh. It was creepy and fun.
Yes, they insisted on being called background artists, I'm sure.
I'm sure they did.
Otherwise, there'd be a shiv coming,
exactly.
or a wrench.
Yeah.
You got a good Rip Torn story?
Oh, Rip! Oh man. Rip enjoyed Rip enjoyed the alcoholic beverage or two.
8.
Gosh, I mostly enjoyed shooting in Vegas with Rip because he would show up very happy, whatever time of day it was, from said alcoholic beverage, and I think he could have actually been killed by the light coming down on him, on his chair, and he would have noticed, and he would have had a good time. Yeah, we actually have a Rip Torn reference in
Barry?
Barry this year.
This coming year?
Yes, sir. You'll see it.
Okay. I'll be looking for it.
Okay.
That is for sure. And a nice little wink and a nod, HBO,
there you go.
For sure. Last one for you, true or false. The cast of NewsRadio was banned from the SAG Awards due to unruly behavior.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And it was the first SAG Awards. It was the
first ever
inaugural SAG Awards. Yes. We got in. We were having a lovely time. Because of the SAG Awards, you may drink wine, and you're having a lovely time at the table, like the Golden Globes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Andy Dick.
Yes.
Andy Dick.
Yes.
Decided to get up on the table and show people what he's made of, as it were.
Oh, his last name.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I think he did. I think he waved it in front of Helen Hunt's face, as I recall.
Helen.
And I'm a good friend of Helen Hunt, so that's what I have to confirm with her that it was her. But yeah, that was it for us.
That was the end of your invitation to the SAG Award.
That's correct.
No matter how terrific an ensemble cast.
Will Smithed out is what we did. Yes.
Oh man, what was it like working with Phil Hartman?
The best. Phil, we would always, since Phil was such a great improviser and come from Saturday Night Live, like Bill. So I've got amazing that I've gotten to work with both of them. Phil would always be the mouthpiece of NewsRadio. And if we do any kind of interview, say like this, or somebody'd come on set, we would take him by the back and go, "Here's Phil." Yeah. And Phil could fill a half an hour because he was hysterical. Such a good guy. And he absolutely loved his kids. He was a great artist. You know, I don't know whether you know, he would do album covers. He did that famous picture of Poco, the Poco album of a horse head on there. That was Phil.
I had no idea.
Yeah. He was a great artist, a very fastidious guy with his scripts. We would make fun of him because he would have, his scripts would be color-coded each scene. He would know exactly what he was doing. Very professional, amazing guy. Loved him.
I mean, truly, you could say, again, as you point out, I mean, Bill Hader and his... Yeah. I mean, when he came on for season 2 of Barry, sitting in that chair, and just riffed one character from SNL after another. It was one of the funniest things. I mean, our sides were hurting.
Boom to boom to boom. It's like Mike Judge can go do Beavis and Butthead, you know, within a microsecond of each other. He doesn't have to think about it.
Right.
He does both voices right away.
And Phil Hartman was the same way. I mean, every time he came on the screen, it was kind of like candy. Yeah. Like you knew what was anytime, and certainly on that show, it was like candy, like cotton candy.
It was, and he was headed for good film career because as our show was ending, he was in talks to do some really good films coming up. So it's a shame that he left us.
So before I let you go, Stephen Root, what can you share about season 3 of Barry? I mean. And
it's on HBO.
I understand. That's a good one. On HBO Max. We got to make sure.
HBO Max. It's on that channel. That's about how much they want us to tell about it. It's a season of consequences.
Okay.
Of consequences of action, but you have to remember this is a show with an umbrella of a guy with bad PTSD. And the first season you saw some of it, and the second season you saw it go, and the third season you're going to see it. More of that behavior and the consequences of that behavior with all the people that he knows.
Okay.
So,
and are we picked up for season 4, or do we know this yet?
I know that we are writing season 4.
That's a good one.
I don't know about the pickup, but we are certainly writing it.
Well, that would be great because I love this show. And
I love it too.
I haven't even seen season 3. Just all of it.
You can come over to my house. I have the first 2.
Okay, I will do that.
Plus 3?
That's fine. You bring
all right. You may.
Thank you.
You may.
Problem is that
you have to bring the beer.
It's not just that. I mean, you could see all the knickknacks he has in front of him.
I do.
Just keep that stapler in a spot where you don't lose sight of it because there's a 5-figure discount.
You need to go get a stapler. I'm here. I'm happy to sign it for you.
Oh, we should have known that.
Do it.
Next time.
All right.
Thanks. Thanks for coming.
Next time we'll do it.
Certainly.
Absolutely.
We'll do that. Thanks for coming. It's Stephen Root, everybody. Like I said, we are big fans of your career and your filmography and all these shows.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. That's Barry, once again, season 3 debuting this Sunday, 10 Eastern time on HBO and HBO Max. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.